but talk about where are you in the scaffolding of your relationship, because as you get into transformational, then you start to say, well, maybe I'm a scholar, or maybe all I want to be is a grandmama. And I'm enjoying it tremendously, Jamie. All I want to be is a grandmama. So it's a woman I referred, or she referred or something. Anyway, so if you're a man, I say to men, if you define yourself in here as happy because you got a good retirement, you spend 3 days on the golf course and you watch golf on TV, I'm going to say to you, I feel sorry for you. I'm sorry you're so dead. I'm sorry you think life is 3 days on the golf course. Well, what's wrong with golf? I have a good time with golf. Of course you do. You have a good time jerking off too, but being on the golf, what's that have to do with life and the world that's in flames? What's that have to do with your extended family and your children? What's that have to do with the woman you're with and what she needs and what she's longing for? Do you know what she's longing for? Well, no, you know what the golf course is longing for. What are you mad, Stephen? I'm not mad. I'm telling you that in order to be a partner in your 60s, 70s, and 80s, you got to activate your questioning self. That's transitional. And then once you activate it, you have to have what? Active listening. You have to know how to stop, look, and listen. You have to know how to say, what did you just say? Tell me again, I didn't hear you. I have to know how to do that. Because she'll just assume I heard her. But I'm still stuck in some depressive phase or something, so I have to say, tell me that again. I don't know women. I don't know her. That's what I have to say to myself. I'm a learner. Can you tell me one more time how you like to be touched? Well, I told you 4 times. That's if she's back there. If she's present, she said, sure, I'd love to tell you the 5th time, or the 10th time, or the 40th time. I'd love to tell you how I like to be touched. Can you tell me what scares you? Well, I really don't know, Stephen, but, well, and then the conversation starts opening up. Transformational takes you into a new expression of the woman that you are, and a new expression of the man that I am. I no longer go to funerals. That was a big conflict with us.
And gets to be more and more as the older we
Yes.
get. Yeah.
I don't want to spend my time being a spectator at a funeral. I don't want to spend my time being a spectator at a wedding. I'll go to a wedding if there's a reason for me to go, but not as a spectator, not as one of the crowd. Now, what does that do? That makes her be abandoned, because she likes those things.
I don't love funerals, but I'd like to have you sitting by me at one. So the conflict is, how do you take care of yourself? How do I take care of myself? How do we express that better?
Yeah, yes, yeah. You don't like to do a lot of your social events by yourself. You invite me every time.
I love doing them by myself, and you're invited.
Ah, okay. So I...
Trying to say.
So...
Oh, Stephen, this is so familiar.
She referred a couple to me recently. You know what? In the text, her last line in the referral was, "May the force be with you." I said, uh-oh, if Dolly says that. So, and there are a couple that doesn't know anything about this conversation. They don't know what's there for them.
Right.
And since they don't know what's there for them, they're starting to make decisions about maybe this isn't it.
Right.
And I'm saying love's origin is there for you, but you have to get to it.
You have to get to that, and you have to recognize that how many decades have gone by in transitional and in foundational, and redefining yourself now 15 years later. I mean, we've joked with couples, that you don't know each other for these 18 years.
That's true.
You don't
Especially
know, you haven't even had contact.
Well, we're also assuming there was an initial love's origin.
Yes.
It might have just been, like my parents were not in love. They grew to love, but it was.
I think there still is an origin story, though. It's like Malidoma, Stephen. What our medicine man, African tribal guy,
Yes.
Educated at Harvard, who said, what is the big difference look at the difference. He and his wife were an arranged marriage, tribally, and there,
Right.
and so they didn't know each other until they knew each other.
Right.
And he said, how
They grew
is that
into it.
worse or better or whatever than what we do? We marry each other because we're all, turned on and hyped
Right.
up, and then we try to maintain that level of connectedness.
the
That's hard.
Problema.
And the arranged marriage, something about the society recognizes something about maybe this would be a good match.
If I got a degree, I would be, I've said this to Rob, I said I would be as good as you in our neighborhood if I had a degree like you. Because he is very learned, right? So I want to be like Rob. I get a degree. I still wasn't like Rob because I had a BA and he had an MD. So I said, well, maybe if I get a PhD. So I got a PhD. So I got a doctorate in divinity. I kept getting degrees. Now, hey, Rob, am I acceptable to you? Rob says, well, you always were. Oh. Could that be true? Yeah, I like you just the way you are, and I appreciate you just the way you are. Oh. Huh. So what happens is the orphan reaches out, and he does this through women, as if he's a man. I don't know how much you women to tell me if you do it, but he reaches out through the woman to tell me who I am. And then I'll tell you if I like who you think I am. And most of it I'll reject because you have no business telling me who I am. But I'll want it anyway. And I'll want your applause when I mow the lawn. And I'll want your acclamation when I take my children to the park. Didn't you do a good job taking the children to the park? No, every father takes his children to the park. No, I want more than that. Tell me how great I am. Tell me how wise I am. Tell me what a good job I did yesterday morning with your women therapist friends. Can you tell me that? So,
Because we all want the
That's the
painting
orphan.
on the refrigerator.
what's that?
We all want the painting on the refrigerator.
Yeah.
When we were little.
Yeah. Yes.
And if
And it's
we
an
get
extension of that.
Yeah.
That's right.
There's a void that just never gets filled.
Well,
That way.
it doesn't get filled if it doesn't get filled from within.
Exactly.
Yeah, and so I write, and I used to, when I write, I would run up with a stack of stuff and say, Lynn, read this. I don't do that anymore because I like it when she reads it, but it has to come from her, not from me. So if I run up like that, it's another version of the little boy saying, hey, tell me. So I have to find a way to have this guy born. Who do I want born? I want the legitimate child. The words of Jesus, if you want to know what the kingdom is like, study a child. Study a 4-year-old. They belong. They know. They stand there. Yep, this is who I am. You don't like me? Tough. This is who I am. And you get that, you say, wow, I want to be like him. Or I want to be like her. Because she already knows, because I raised a lot of children and I have a lot of grandchildren. So say, oh, they already know. Well, what happens between that time and in the second failing marriage? Well, you've lost the connection. You've given in to the orphan. You've believed the school teachers. You believed your neighbors. You believed your depression of your father, who didn't even notice you when he came home. Remember that? He came home and he had his own agenda. Hi! It's like I have a daughter in Switzerland, and when I call her and she says, hi, Dad, I know it's not going to be a good phone call. So I say, why don't you go back to what you're doing and talk when you can talk? And she says, what are you talking about, Dad? I say, well, you're not here. You're not present. Hi. I don't want that. Hi. I don't want it. Oh, you're tough, Dad. Well, yeah, but I only going to have an hour on the phone with you. I want present tense. I want to be with you and you with me. And you can't focus right now. I can feel it. Oh, I can focus. And then she does. And then I do. And then we have a conversation. But we don't have a conversation if I stay with, hi, Dad. Because I say, how you doing? Oh, I'm fine. I'm fine. Yeah, I'm fine. I'm working. No, Lynn's fine. No, Dune's fine. Yeah, we're all fine. Everything's fine. We're fine. We got Trump as the president. We're fine. We're fine. We're fine. We're fine. We're fine. Nice to talk to you. Fine. Bye. It becomes a senile conversation. And most of the people I'm involved with have senile relationships with their parents. They don't tell the truth. So this legitimate child is trying to be born in her 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. And she gets to be born if she has courage. And that translates into the sexual relationship between the two of them. Because if not, she's depressed. If not, he's depressed. And they're going through the motions. So I'm saying that the focus in psychotherapy offices on what's wrong and let's solve that conflict is pretty much wasted money and wasted time. If you can look at the scaffolding of the marriage as an overview and say, where are you? Are you in transitional? Are you in transformational? Or are you lucky enough to be in the fourth phase, which is legacy? Simon Sinek, why? What am I here for? We're the closest in the room to leaving the planet. What are we here for? That's a big question, right? It is for me. So you say, okay, legacy is what am I about? Not how much money do I have. Legacy is about how's the world going to be different without my story there? What's going to happen in my neighborhood? What's going to happen with my extended family, my adult children, my daughters and their marriages and their children and my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren? What's going to happen with all of them without Stephen Frew here? That's not an ego thing. That's knowing something that I bring something. So my request last time, and I don't know if we're going to get to do this again, but my request to you has been, what do women bring to relationship and when they're sitting in your office? What do men bring to relationship when they're sitting in your office? Because if you can know that, you have a hook. There's something you can deal with. And I call that, and I got this out of leadership coaching up north with Marcia Schenk, I call that natural genius. And natural genius is simply, what are you when you don't know you are it? What do you observe for? Have you ever had a friend or a husband or a child and you said, wow, and they had no idea what your wow was about? Mm-hmm. That's that. Like, Lynn will pick up a spider out of the shower and I'll go, wow, I wouldn't. I just turn the shower water on and wash it down. Bye, spider. Good luck. But not only would she do that, but she'd be angry with me if I did that in front of her. Mm-hmm. Well, it's only a spider. No, it's a spider. So she's not saying, look at me, I'm a protector of the animal world. She's not thumping her chest, but she's protecting the spider. Same thing she'll do with an off remark about, this is a number of years ago, this is not contemporary, an off remark about a gay person. And I saw her get mad. I go, what? Because I don't think I'm anti-gay. I don't think I'm racist or that. But evidently my words were. I made some comment and she was mad at me. And I saw something in her. She would stand up for that person who she didn't know. She would stand up to me, who she did know, and take the risk of the conflict because that's her natural genius. The unprotected, those who are in need, are vulnerable, and so on. So you have to know where that is. And that comes in the phase of legacy, knowing yourself, what Socrates said, know yourself. And I call that the birth of the legitimate child within. I think we spend our whole life trying to recover from our childhood.
Yeah.
And a few of us get to.